Hi everybody, it's Alejandra with the Osceola Library System and welcome to Messy Media. Today I'm going to show you how to make these sort of fun abstract ink paintings with alcohol ink. So if you've never worked with alcohol ink before, they come in these little tiny bottles and they're a very concentrated ink that dries very, very quickly. So you can make some really great abstract paintings like this, or if you're more of a pro, you can go for some very complex, beautiful paintings. So for a project like this, what you're gonna need is some synthetic paper or alcohol ink paper. I did order this from Amazon, but you can get this at most craft stores. You can also try some glossy photo paper. Some of those papers also work well with alcohol ink because regular paper kind of just absorbs the ink and doesn't let it spread. You will also need a few colors of alcohol ink. I got the shades Mermaid, Indigo, and Teak Wood from the Jim Holtz line of alcohol ink. And you'll also need a sort of blending solution for your alcohol ink. So I got this one as well on Amazon, US Art Supplies, just a clear blender. If you don't have something like this on hand, they can be a little expensive. You can also use isopropyl alcohol or like rubbing alcohol. And this is just something that'll re-moisturize your alcohol ink and make it movable again. Because like I said, these do tend to dry very quickly. Or if you want to sort of dilute your colors, you can mix this with your alcohol ink in a palette and use it sort of like a watercolor as well. And then for my project, I did use some straws to sort of move around my ink. Again, you could also use a heat gun or a hair dryer, and that'll dry your ink a little bit faster. But I don't happen to have one on hand, so I do have a sort of coffee stirring straw and then a regular straw. And like your different thicknesses of straw will give sort of different effects, as we can see. And you can also use some gloves if you would prefer. It does stain your fingers pretty badly, the alcohol ink, and it does take a long time to get off. So if you think you might accidentally stain your fingers, go ahead and wear some gloves. And we can go ahead and get started. That's all I needed to say. So I'm going to start off with my color here, Mermaid, and these do kind of come in these little drip sort of caps, so you can drip it right onto there, or you can drip it onto a empty palette if you want. So I'm going to do a couple of drops of Mermaid there, and with my regular straw, I'm going to blow on it to sort of spread the color around and give it a second to dry. So now you can see that it's pretty much dry. So from here, I'm not able to move it anymore until I add my clear blending solution. So I'm going to try and be very careful and only do a little bit of this. And there you can see with that clear blending solution, I'm able to move it again. But like I said, you have to work quickly because these do dry very, very fast. So I'm going to go in now with my next color, Indigo. I'm going to go ahead and put that in a different spot. I'm going to do about 3 drops of that and also spread it with my regular straw. I found the darker colors do tend to dry a little bit faster and may need a little bit more help when you're spreading them around. And if they do blend into each other, that's all right. I mean, I guess it depends on the look you're going for, but if you're looking for something more abstract, if they blend in together, that's fine. And then I'm going to use teak wood over on the other side. This is more of like a burnt, sort of umber brown color. Now, using a heat gun or a hair dryer might give you a more sort of polished look, a little bit more even in application. Oops. Some people do also opt to use their clear blender in a palette with a syringe instead to get a more controlled application. And I would definitely suggest that because it is a little bit hard to control when it's just dripping out of the bottle like this. I'm going to dilute my purple a little bit more and use my little coffee stirrer instead. So since my coffee stirrer is kind of like letting out less air, it is just spreading it around a little bit less just to get a more controlled sort of placement. So I'm wanting my purple and my green to sort of blend together a little bit. Alright, and you can see we're getting sort of this layering effect here. Because if you let it dry and then moisten it again, you kind of get that layered effect. So I'm going to add more of my clear solution here to dilute the green a little bit. And again, this is another one of those sort of art methods that's a little bit more trial and error, and it's a little hard to control. So you always get something different every time. And like I said, another way you can paint with these is to mix them on a palette with some of that clear blender. And just paint on your paper directly. Just be careful to not rub too much with your paintbrush. And you can see with the coffee stirrer as I move around, it does kind of leave that layering effect. Because like I said, I'm blowing more concentrated air in a specific spot as opposed to with my thicker straw where I'm kind of just blowing air everywhere. Okay. Okay, and then you can just continue to add your ink, blow air, add layers, add color until you reach a point that you're happy with. And you can also go on top of this with just some regular ink, even some gold ink, and add some splatters to make a very beautiful sort of galaxy effect to this as well. But for now, I'm going to leave it here, let it dry, and then I can come back to it later if I want to add more. Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Our next Messy Media is going to be September 14th, where I'm going to show you how to do spin art. It's going to be really fun and really, really messy. So please go check out our website, osceolalibrary.org, for more information about our fun programs and our services. Thanks so much for being with me. Bye!